Welcome to my home and welcome to my channel. This is me, Christoph Key, laughing through life, single, gay, and sober. This week's topic is on repairing relationships. Now, we're all human and we obviously make mistakes. In recovery, we learn to clean up our side of the street. And in this video, I want to share with you my personal experiences and how I'm dealing with it. The quote for this topic is, "All you can change is yourself, but sometimes that changes everything," by Gary Goldstein. For many of us, it can be difficult to admit when we're wrong. When looking back at my past, I can definitely remember some times when I was a pretty shitty person. I was very self-centered and often blew things out of proportion. When looking back, there were definitely some cringe-worthy scenarios that if I could, I'd hope to clean up. Cleaning up our side of the street can be scary as hell. Taking the initiative of reaching out, communicating, and apologizing can be almost too scary to do. The reason we have to push through this fear is because on the opposite side of that lies true freedom. By admitting to a person with an open heart our wrongs and offering our sincerest apologies, it really does lift that weight. I recently met up with an old friend to do just that. I had known this person since I was about 20 years old, and throughout our friendship, they mentored me professionally. A situation occurred where we had a misunderstanding and we both went our separate ways. I won't go into details, but the core of the story is this. I didn't feel right with how things ended. In my spirit, I felt like I owed this person an amends. I truly care for this person, and they taught me skills that I still use today. It's been about 2 years since we talked, but last week I sent a text asking if we could meet for coffee. To my surprise, they happily agreed and we made plans. Now listen up, because this is a perfect example of how I always know my higher power is with me. The day before we were supposed to meet, I was starting to get pretty nervous. I had prayed on it consistently and had faith that things would work out, but I still had some nervous feelings about it. I had the day off from work, so I decided to spend most of it outside. I jogged to several parks, ate lunch out, and even flew my kite. The weather was amazing, and there was an outside event that drew thousands of people. Now I love to people watch, so I walked around a bit to catch the vibe, and to my surprise, I didn't recognize anyone. I was getting tired and decided to leave when I looked around and finally saw a familiar smiling face. It just so happened to be the same friend I was planning to make an amends to the very next day. Out of all those people, I ran into them. We didn't talk long, but the simple hello, hug, and I'll see you tomorrow removed all fear surrounding the situation. We met for coffee the next day, where I finally got a chance to explain myself and offer a thank you and an apology. The simple fact was that I was not able to be the person that they needed due to my alcoholism. Admitting that and actually being forgiven is a freedom I had never felt before. Now, I don't want to sound cocky, but I know I'm going big places. Now that I'm sober, nothing's gonna stop me. I don't want to look back at my past and see any messiness on my account. Unfortunately, not every amends is that smooth. Sometimes it's easier for others to hold on to anger rather than accept your apology. There are instances where people have completely forgotten the situation, you're unable to contact that person, or that person refuses to meet you. I'm currently waiting on a person to sit down with me, and to my surprise, it's much more difficult than I anticipated. There's current social media contact between us, and in my heart, I know that both of us will feel better once we speak, but this person has yet to get back to me. That's something I'm gonna have to accept at some point, but I'm gonna give it a few more tries. I guess what I'm trying to say is that just because we're ready to clean things up doesn't necessarily mean that that other person is in the same space. We have to respect that, and if that person is never ready, then we have to let it go. Over a lifetime, a person can hold on to shame, pain, and fear. Over time, that not only affects your life mentally, but can also make you physically sick. Releasing that anguish and living in a constant state of gratitude really is the key to living a happy life. I'm still a work in progress, but there's one thing that I can definitely tell you, and it's this. By repairing past relationships and making amends, you can definitely feel the same release that I do. This brings us to our moment of gratitude. This week I'm grateful for such a positive experience with my first amends. I can truly say that I know why it's needed in recovery. I'm so grateful for the freedom I now feel, and I'm also grateful for the fear that I no longer have about continuing on this journey. Thanks so much for watching. Hang in there. This is me, Christoph Key. Do you like me? Then make sure to like and subscribe for more videos.